pay them taxes, take care of me and my people. All right? This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes. You better fucking pay your taxes.
You better pay your taxes. They talk about white boy right now, but nigga, you better pay your taxes too. Because you're not a Somalian. They run the land now. Let them tell it. This is the mindset of the people who Ilhan the Khan represents. Welcome to the TMYK show. I am your host, Mike, better known as Mo. Here's where you get the truth uncut. And we do call a spade a spade. So today we're going to be looking at CNN reinterpreting a speech that she made, as well as we're going to look at them ramping up investigating in Minnesota of the fraud, and the number is staggering. And we will also look at a Hispanic market in Minnesota who have lost 75% of their business due to ICE, and we will be talking about that. And as always, if you enjoy the content that we bring, please like, subscribe, and share. Now let's get into this.
Republicans are demanding punishments that can't happen for words that a member of Congress didn't actually say. I'm talking about Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who recently addressed supporters in Minneapolis. She was speaking Somali. The topic was a controversial port deal that would give a breakaway region of northern Somalia access to the sea. An ambassador from that breakaway region posted a version of her comments online. The translation on the clip claimed that she said this: "The U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia."
Okay, they're gonna safeguard the interest of Somalians in America. Do they not understand that if you're here legally and you are a citizen of the United States, that your way of being in our country is safeguarded by the Constitution? What safeguard are you looking for that will be different from any other American? Just because you're Somalians, what does that mean? But they say that wasn't what she said. But let's read it just one more time, just to get content. Here's what it says. It says the U.S. government will only do what the Somalians and the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interests of Somalians. And I got a tape for you, and we're going to see. They say that's not what she said, but we're going to see if that's the attitude possibly of the Somalians. Let's continue.
Now, CNN translated her speech. Here's what she actually said. Quote, "The United States government would do what we tell them to do. We need to have confidence as Somali people. We live in this country. This is the country that we pay taxes in. This is the country where a girl was born from you all who is sitting in Congress."
So here we go again. I don't see much difference in what you just put up there and what she's saying now in your CNN translation. Like it sounds any better. Let's read this one. Let's read this one. It says the United States government would do what we tell them to do. What? What you tell them to do, just that wording right there, I have a problem with. The government's going to do what you tell them to do? We need to have confidence in Somali people. We live in this country. This is the country that we pay taxes in. Are y'all the only ones? We all pay taxes. But who can come out and say, because we pay taxes, the government gonna do what we say do? But they would if we came as a people, as a body. If we all got on one accord and we felt the government was doing something that they shouldn't be doing and we wanted eradicated, we can do it as a people. But you're Somalians. You've just been invited into our country. And you can make a statement like that to your people in your language? How do you think the people is walking away with that? The last part. And this is the country where a girl was born from you, all who is sitting in Congress. What is that saying? So you only there for a Somalian purpose, not an American purpose? Not being there for Minnesota? Is it just Somalians in your community? Is it just Somalians in Minnesota that you have a vested interest in? Is that what it is? Ilhan Omar? Is that it? And then CNN wants you to believe it and want the Republicans to, I guess, redact or retract what they said about them wanting her censored for this statement. Any way it goes, she should be censored from my perspective. Because who can say that the United States of America, the government, is going to do what I say do because I pay taxes? Or because me and my family pay taxes, they're going to do what we say do. Make it make sense. Yeah, so yeah, we that's enough of that. That's enough of that. But yeah, they want them, CNN talking about retract. No, it ain't about retracting. It's not about retracting. It is about doing what you have to do. Okay, now we saw that with Ilhan. We saw that they said that, hey, she didn't say it the way it was reported. But we just looked at it. Come on, there was not much difference. And the bottom line is that she said in both of them that America, the government, was going to do what they said do, period. That's what she said. Now, let's see this brother here, this Somalian, let's see if this may be what she was referring to in her speech to them in their language. Let's see.
My biggest fear in life is that this man may never witness our full takeover. Yes, he may never witness that. He already witnessed our partial takeover, our little success in America. And he is the reason actually I know that the community in America is thriving. He is how I know. It's like, he's how we measure our progress. If he doesn't tweet, somebody messed up. I know it. Somebody fucked up the plan. If he tweet, I know. We're doing the right things.
He says someone fucked up the plan. Wow. They're on a mission, people. You have to understand that Ilhan Omar and Somalians and others, not just Somalians, they're on a mission to take over. But there's us that's out here who knows it and are preparing for it. Please understand. Please understand. Nobody's laying down on this. Nobody's going to turn a blind eye to this. This is serious. We are the land of the free, and we will remain the land of the free. But let's continue. Let him with his foolishness continue.
Yes, that's how I know. So, he's old and sick, I know. he may not witness our full takeover, but I promise you that his sons will witness. Just like him, we came to exist in this country. See, the land of free men, the land of opportunities. And we're here. Yes. And we're not leaving, actually. We're not going back.
Isn't that what Ilhan continually say? That all of this stuff came out about Minnesota, the fraud. What is one of her biggest things? We are Americans, and you can't do nothing to send us back. You can't do nothing because of our Constitution. This man said, we're not going back. And he thinks that we're so free in this country that he can post something like this and think that it means nothing. We have no power to stand against what he's now saying they are doing. Not trying to do, doing. He said Donald Trump already witnessed a partial takeover, so it's well in effect. That's what the man is saying. But we sitting up here all on ice, got these asshole Democrats blowing smoke up your ass, got you looking everywhere but where you need to be looking. And that's at one, the government, local and federally. And why are assholes like this in our country? And nobody's doing nothing about it. But they got you on ice, calling them everything under the sun, Gestapo, all of this. When they're trying to get assholes like this out of our country, who has this type of mindset. Let's continue.
Back. What do you mean go back? You should go back first. You see, if you come fast, you go fast. See? Just like you. Tell me how you own this land. Explain to the world how this land became your land. Tell the world. My biggest fear in life is that this man may...
Wow. Wow. That's how he feels about our country. Tell me how it's your land. You came first. You leave first. Do you hear it? He's not just talking about taking over the land. He's talking about deporting people of America. Sickening. So let's go see somebody else to show you how they are taking advantage of America and how they talk about Americans. Check this out.
So these Somalians are making TikToks laughing about how they are ripping off America each and every day, but they're not laughing for long because watch how this magnificently backfires on them, and it is an absolute joy to watch.
You work all fucking day, you don't got shit. Thank you for working so hard so I can be home all day, free. I can use my EBT. Go to work for me, white boy, white girl. Yeah, go to work for me, you animals. Work for me. Yeah, you work for me. And the U.S. government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes. Take care of me and my people. All right? This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes. You better fucking pay your taxes.
You better pay your taxes. They talk about white boy right now, but nigga, you better pay your taxes too. Because you're not a Somalian. They run the land now. Let them tell it. This is the mindset of the people who Ilhan the Khan represents. I just showed you too. And what's so cold about it? They do it with no disregard. They don't care. They saying, we can tell you, we finna fuck over you and ain't nothing you can do about it. This is their mindset. They come out and say it publicly. Publicly. They can say it and think there is no repercussions from them saying, believing, and acting in this manner. Please stop it. Please stop it. So we're going to go over here and look at how things are ramping up over here in Minnesota when it comes to the investigating of the fraud and the con work that has been done in Minnesota up under Tampon Walsh. And do y'all know this governor, he put tampon dispensers in the men's bathroom? Tampon dispensers, this asshole, this, as Trump called him, retarded dude. Yeah, he's retarded. To put tampon dispensers in a man's and the boy's bathroom, you lost your damn mind. Hell wrong with you. But this is the governor of Minnesota. So let's get into this. I got this from a brother, Devori Dorkin. So good podcast guy. You should all check him out. He really has a great following and he has great content. So let's get into this and see. Let me look at some of this fraud that's been going on.
You will not believe all of this. It comes as the feds say the sheer scale of the fraud is nothing short of epic.
Minnesotans and taxpayers deserve to know the truth of the fraud. The fraud is not small. It isn't isolated. The magnitude cannot be overstated. What we see in Minnesota is not a handful of bad actors committing crimes. It's a staggering industrial scale fraud. It's swamping Minnesota and calling into question everything we know about our state.
Mike Tobin has more from our Midwest Bureau. And Mike, I got to tell you, last night in a commercial break of the 5, we were all talking about this and really blown away by the numbers.
You know, the federal prosecutors, Dana, in Minnesota have been warning and still warning that we're looking at the tip of the iceberg in terms of the extent of this fraud in Minnesota. As you mentioned, 6 new indictments and 1 guilty plea were announced yesterday as federal agents executed a search warrant on Ultimate Home Health Services, a Somali-owned home care agency. The new indictment zeroes in on the autism program called Early Intensive Developmental and Behavioral Intervention, or EIDBI, and zeroed in on housing stabilization programs. In the case of the housing stabilization programs, the Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson says defendants claim to provide housing assistance to people with mental illness or drug and alcohol problems, and they say the defendants submitted claims, provided no service.
This is why.
So yeah, they go to Devori right there. But anyway, yeah, these type of things, you know, this is what's going on. They're using children. They're claiming that children are artistic and they're not. I mean, this is a scam that's been beyond, man, it has been horrific, the things that these people have done to Minnesota. It has been just outrageous. Let's continue this.
Money in Minnesota, so they flew into the state, set up shop, and started billing the government. As far as defrauding the autism programs, Thompson introduced 1 new case of a defendant recruiting parents, getting bogus documents for a diagnosis of autism for the child. The parents would then get a kickback from the money intended to treat the autistic child.
What we're seeing is programs that are just entirely fraudulent. These aren't companies that are providing some services but overbilling Medicare or Medicaid. These are companies that are providing essentially no services.
I mean, that's just totally outrageous. Totally. No services are they producing. I mean, this is fraud at its finest.
Essentially no services. They're essentially shell companies created to defraud the program, created to submit on a wholesale level.
Now, the Housing Stabilization Program, for one, was created with a prediction it would cost $2.6 million annually. It ballooned to $21 million in 2021 and exploded to $104 million in 2024.
Wait a minute. It went from 2.6 to 21 million in 2021? Who took over office in 2021? Wow. And it ballooned 5 times in 4 years? Maybe 3 years? It ballooned 5 times. With Joe Biden and Kamala Harris being in office. Come on, people. I was born that night, but not last night. Period.
All but a handful of the defendants thus far are part of the Minnesota Somali community. Some of the money did leave the U.S. There were real estate purchases in Kenya, to give you one example. But prosecutors say so far they have no evidence that the money funded the terror group.
So, okay, they say that they don't believe that the money was funded over there to Al-Qaeda. Okay. But where did the money go? Where did the money go? That's a very important question. Where did it go? Okay, it didn't go to them. Okay. We'll ride with that. But where did the money go? Where did the money go? That's what we should be asking right now. Where did the money go? Where did it go? So let's see here. Let's look at some more.
All right.
Yes, we're looking into all those programs, yes.
Andrew, as you look across the country, are there any other examples where the cost of Medicaid-funded programs saw this kind of exponential growth? Is Minnesota clearly an outlier when you look at spending on these programs across the board?
I think we're an outlier in a bad way, yes. Have I gone through every 50 state? No, but you don't see fraud on this scale in other states. And part of that is just we sit here as a team, and it's a relatively small team or a relatively small U.S. Attorney's Office, and every day we look under a rock and find a new $50 million.
And did you see that number? 18 billion and counting. Ridiculous.
Fraud scheme. That shouldn't be the case in a state of our size. Certainly other states have problem with frauds, but I think our problem is unique insofar as we've just opened the door. What we aren't seeing here, traditional Medicare or Medicaid fraud is people overbilling, upcoding. So you're instead of billing for a service with a relatively modest reimbursement, you claim to be providing a higher dollar value service, and you get more Medicaid payments or reimbursements that you should be entitled to. That's traditional. You may be getting 20% more. You're padding your bills. What we see here, and what I think is unique to Minnesota, is that's not what we're looking at. What we're seeing is programs that are just entirely fraudulent. These aren't companies that are providing some services but overbilling Medicare or Medicaid. These are companies that are providing essentially no service.
No service. No service. No service to the people are they rendering for the money that they're receiving. Ridiculous. How did we get here? Let's look at two other guys here in Boston to show you how it's running rampant. Check this out.
Used one of the government's most critical safety net programs for their own financial gain.
This is taxpayer money meant to keep people from going hungry. These defendants decided to take it for themselves. These defendants exchanged SNAP benefits for cash, which they pocketed. Bonner, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Haiti, owned the Jesuela Variety Store. Elise May, a lawful permanent resident also from Haiti, owned the Saul Mache Mixe store. These two businesses were co-located within a single storefront in Boston. To be certain, these were not supermarkets. They were not full-service groceries. It would be a huge stretch to even call them convenience stores. In fact, the only thing convenient about these stores was how easy it was to commit SNAP benefit fraud.
How easy it was. And showing you how country spread is this type of fraud going on. Well, I know it's in California somewhere. I know it's in California. We got hundreds of billions of dollars that have not been allocated, that has been allocated, but have not went to the proper places. Hundreds of billions. And it's time for people to pay for this. It's time. It's time, and we have to understand that. We have to understand that. So here it is. Got about one more segment of this and what have you. Then we're going to move on. We'll be wrapping it up here. But let's look at this here and what they're doing over here and on all of this. Let's go over here and look. Let's go over here and look.
Two guys from Philadelphia go to Minnesota to pick up cash. Was this an open secret in your state?
Bill, we've been reporting on this for years and hearing that the fraud is well into the billions of dollars in Minnesota. I don't think really surprises anyone here. There was this morning warning months ago that an iceberg was ahead by.
Now here go Tim Tampon Walz, the governor, and look who's standing behind me. And he looking, and if you look at his face, he don't look like somebody confident. He don't look like somebody, and that's Keith, Obama's wingman, Ellis. Keith Ellison was Obama's attorney general and came out publicly and said that he was Obama's wingman when he should have been very neutral in his serving of the White House under the leadership of Barack Obama. He is the law enforcement agent of the country, and no one is above the law. There's nowhere in the world he should have been coming out saying he was Obama's wingman. Like I said, if Pam Bondi came out there and said something like that, they'd be saying, get the rope. But let's look into this. And he's the Attorney General of Minnesota. And this has been going on all these years, and he knows nothing about it. He's done no investigating. This should have been cracked down a long time ago. You just hear the lady say they've been reporting on this for years. He don't know nothing about that? Give me a break.
First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson. It seems like we're not even hitting that just yet. I'll be honest, we've visited some recent sites just within the last week. Still, it seems, fraudulent programs everywhere. Zeroing in on those 14 Medicaid programs that have now been flagged, $18 billion that poured into those programs since 2018. Yesterday, we heard more than half of that is likely fraud, perhaps well above $9 or $10 billion. But just seeing that explosive growth, I think you can see these businesses everywhere. In fact, business owners in Minnesota are even taking matters into their own hands, Bill. We've done some stories about people actually setting up security cameras, rolling on neighboring businesses saying, hey, there's no kids coming and going from this daycare. There are no adults going in and out of this adult daycare. Will someone do something?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Here it is. This stuff has been going on. You got Keith Ellison, you got the governor, Tampon Walsh, that are just been watching this stuff grow, watching fraud just increase, and not doing a damn thing about it. They all got to go down. All of them. And it's coming. You're going to find out. They don't know what to do. Like I say, look at Keith in that little press conference they had. He didn't look too assured. He knows things are about to get ugly for him and Mr. Walsh, as well as, for sure, Ilhan the Khan. So now let's look at something here, and let me show you something here. Check this out.
And the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong, and they said leering. This daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday, and if you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working. Midday, children should be in here, and this place is licensed for 99 children, and this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing, and like I said, they literally spelt the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place.
It's a learning center.
Minnesota. The government is complicit
don't
with
even
this.
have.
This is just one of the hundreds of child daycare centers here inside of Minneapolis being ran by the.
This is crazy. You don't have a spell checker. You don't have somebody to look up there and say, excuse me, because it is so rampant that they don't care about nothing like that. We got these dumbass Americans. They don't know. They just dumb as fucking rocks. We can put Leary up there. And they still gonna send us the $1.9 million annually. No, ain't no kids got to come up in here. Like the dude said earlier, the funny thing about it, it's not like they're stretching the books, cooking the books. There is no books to cook because there is no services being rendered. Y'all just stealing. You just telling them, I need this, I need that, I want that, and they're just giving it to you. No checks and balances. Who's behind that? How could that go on for years? How can you go from implementing a program that says all we think we need is $2.6 million annually to, in 5 years, blow up to $104 million? Make it make sense. But let's go on. So I think you all see just what's going on there. And everybody, I pray that everybody who's involved get what they deserve. And that is to be thrown damn near under the jail. And definitely, if you're not a citizen, or if we can revoke your citizenship, kick your ass out of our country. So let's look at this last one here. I want to go over here and look at this store here that we have looked at and what have you. And here's the thing. This story here about this grocery store, I got one question. Once we see this, it's just less than 2 minutes. But check this out. Check this out.
Crosby and Danny Kaye would approve, but thanks anyway. All right, new at 5. A lot of people in the Twin Cities Latino community are afraid to go to a grocery store because they worry they'll run into ICE agents.
That's the word from a St. Paul Mexican supermarket that came up with a way to get around that problem. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni got a look at how it all works today. And Mike, customers are so afraid of ICE that it's impacting business.
Yes, so Young and Corin, ICE started its immigration crackdown in Minneapolis a little over 3 weeks ago now. That store in St. Paul saw a 75% drop in customers within just days. It says even customers who are citizens or those in the country legally are fearful, and that is why they came up with a solution, starting their own delivery service. In this back room at Buy More Mercado.
Why would you create a scenario that even scares Americans that have a right to be here? I don't get that. How could you put something out there and put a lie out there and make it so scary that people who have a right to be in our country are scared to go from day to day? But only a fool would believe that and then stay at home when they know they have all of their ducks in a row, when they know that they have, and they keep lying to you, telling you that people are being detained who are citizens. That is a bald-faced lie. Sometimes people do get caught up, but it is nowhere to the level that reaches concern. There is no reason to be concerned about that, period.
In St. Paul.
This is what we have been including in the other groceries.
Vanessa Muchaka and her team are busy taking grocery orders and bagging them up for delivery.
We've seen a big decline in our sales.
She started doing this weeks ago when customers stopped showing up over concerns they'd run into ICE agents even if they're here legally. The store put this sign on the front door to ease anxiety, but it hasn't really helped.
There's people that are just scared just to be detained for whatever reason.
That's why the store now takes orders over the phone and online. After that, a runner does the shopping, then rings it all up, and volunteers drop everything off at the customer's door. And if they can't pay, it's all free, thanks to the nearly $8,000 raised on GoFundMe.
Every Christmas time, it was very busy. Now it's very empty.
Owner Ramiro Hernandez says his store is usually more crowded this time of year, but fear, he says, drove customers away.
I'm only here more than 40 years, and I haven't heard anything like that, like it's happening now. It made me feel very sad.
Can you help me put the chicken over there on the table?
As for why this is so important to Vanessa.
Because I've been through it. I had my partner taken away when it was the 2014.
She had a partner taken away in 2014. Who was in office in 2014? Wasn't that Barack Obama in 2014? Nicknamed the deporter-in-chief? But we had no issue back then? But now all hell's broke loose today? Stop it. Stop it.
So, I was single with 4 kids. I was not expecting that at all.
But there's another reason.
We're humans, and it's just humanity.
And so far, they've delivered groceries to more than 300 customers. The store says it plans to keep offering the free delivery service as long as necessary. In the newsroom, Mike Manzoni, Fox 9.
So there you go. Fraud in Minnesota, ICE in Minnesota. You want to keep the illegals here, and you want to keep on beating the United States out of taxpayer dollars for your own personal use and gain. So the fraud needs to stop, and everybody involved needs to go to jail. And if you're here illegally, you need to get your paperwork in order and or deport yourself and go get that. I believe it's now $3,000 to deport, self-deport, and go back and try to come back the right way. It's just that simple. So I hope that you all have enjoyed all the content that I presented today. And if you have, please like, subscribe, and share. As always, till next time, love you and be kind one to another. Peace.